Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. And today, you guys are on this video. I want to talk about Lwandle Mseleku because, of course, today, later on, we are going to be watching the premiere of Izingane Zesthembu Season 2, and we will be getting episode 1, you guys. And hopefully, I will be able to do the review right after that, you guys. So listen, all of the cast is coming back. We do have Lwandle Mpumelelo and Mpumelelo's girlfriends, and we also have Usne, we have Abo, and we also have Umpilo as part of the cast. And you guys, it looks like Lwandle is going to be a little bit more vocal, you guys. We do see him in the trailer sort of having a confrontation with Usne, and I've always felt like Usne doesn't really have a respectful relationship with her siblings. I initially felt like they do not respect her, and I feel like they don't give her that thing of her being a bigger sister. And I feel like, of course, it's hard to respect a person like that, especially when she hasn't been an example for them. But you know, a big sister is still a big sister. But now I'm feeling like it kind of feels like it's both ways. It does not feel like they respect her, and it also feels like she doesn't respect them. So I think we are going to see more of their dynamics this season of the show, because we do see Usne getting into it with Lwandle and also Abongwe. I did notice, you guys, this last episode of Uthando Nesthembu, when Umpilo is asking Usne if she would like to come with her to Joburg to visit with Abongwe, and Usne said no. First, the attitude of Sne in that scene, but also the reaction of Abo, that I felt like there's something here. It does look like they might not really get along right now. I don't know if this is something that has always been like that, which I haven't noticed, but it's going to be interesting to actually see this relationship or these relationships on the show this season. So you guys, listen, I'm going to talk about Lwandle. When did we meet Lwandle, and what has or how has his journey been like on TV or on this reality show, you guys? So we met Lwandle back in season 1 of Uthando Nesthembu, and there's an episode that they did on Uthando Nesthembu where they were basically giving us more information on the children. We meet them in season 1, episode 1, but at that time, or at that point, we were not sure who was whose child and how old they were, what they were up to, how their personalities were like. So I think in the episode 2, they were trying to give us more information on the kids, and there is a same episode where we actually got to see more on Umpilo, and actually understanding that Umpilo was not Makhumalo's biological child. In that very same episode, we do see Mseleku just hanging out with his family, but the Macele family, Macele and the kids, Sne is there, you guys. And I want to do another video, because going back and watching Sne back then is so interesting, because there are things that are very surprising to see, especially with the Sne that we have right now on Uthando Nesthembu / Izingane Zesthembu. So Lwandle, we meet him in episode 2, where they are sitting, hanging out as a family. By the way, you guys, when I'm going back to watch all seasons, I actually realized that I don't know if it's just the way that they showed it on the show. It did look like Mseleku spent more time with Macele than any other household. There was more scenes with Macele's family than any other family. Okay. Anyway, you guys, so they're just sitting around, hanging around, and Lwandle starts by saying, listen, don't get angry with me, but I do have something to say, saying that to his parents. He ended up telling them that he has lost his blazer at school. They were going to the playground, I guess. He left the blazer in the changing room and came back, and it wasn't there. And Mseleku was very angry about it, and he's saying, listen, you're not gonna get the new blazer. I want that blazer back. And you guys, and you do see in that scene that Lwandle is a child that struggles with making up a lot of words in terms of expressing himself, and also explaining himself. because maybe if it was someone else, if it was another child, he would have explained more as to how he ended up losing the blazer for the parents to be more understanding, but he was struggling to even explain that, you guys. And also Musa was more upset about the fact that while he is telling them that he lost the blazer, he doesn't look as serious because he's laughing. But I feel like he might have been laughing because it was there are people that laugh when they are in an uncomfortable situation, especially because this was like the second episode that we were getting of his Uthando Nesthembu. So even the kids were not used to having the cameras around. You can see how, all of them, sometimes they will be acting awkward because, of course, they're not used to the cameras. So that's basically where we meet Lwandle. And honestly, for the rest of the seasons that follow, we don't really see much of Lwandle. And I think that's a true representation of who Lwandle has been on the show before. In this last season, he started being more vocal about his feelings, his thoughts, and all of that. The fact that we didn't see much about him was because he wasn't really saying much. He really has been a child of a few words. He really speaks when he absolutely has to speak, and he will respond when he is spoken to. Other than that, you guys, he hasn't really said much. Okay, now moving on to oh yes, you guys, and then there is another scene where in this episode they were doing a party for Macele, like a Thanksgiving party. The other wives had planned the party for her, and he ends up having to speak. And even there you can see how much he's struggling, but he's able to express how much they're grateful to their mother, that she has raised them, she has given them love, and him and his siblings. So he was speaking for himself and also for his siblings, you guys. In that episode, Umacele does get emotional in the diary session, because this is where she actually explains who Lwandle is. And she says that, listen, Lwandle is a very sweet boy. In fact, she is her one child that will always make sure that in whatever situation he comes back and checks on her. He's that child that is always asking, Mom, are you okay? Especially in situations where he might be feeling like his mother might not be okay. She also goes on to say that Lwandle was so sweet at the time. I say at the time because I do feel like it has changed a little bit, you guys. Was so sweet at the time that even if he was given, like, let's say 10 randi, Lwandle would go to the shops and buy his mom like 5 rand airtime and come back and say, Mom, I don't know if you need airtime, but I bought you airtime. And she does express, you guys, that Lwandle is one child that is the most protective of her, you guys. And I feel like it's vice versa when it comes to Lwandle and his mom, because Umacele has been vocal about how she will be feeling like Lwandle gets abused by the family. When I say abused, I say it in a sense that she said, because Lwandle is not somebody that would say no, for an example, when they are trying to get him to do things around the house. She even said that Sebenzi, when they have events kaMseleku, sometimes Mseleku forgets ukuthi Isithembu akusona esaLwandle, So Mseleku would use Lwandle to serve his wives, and that is something that Umacele didn't like. It's like Lwandle akanaso Isithembu. So when you need things done for your wives, why should it be Lwandle? And also, why not Mpumelelo? Because remember, Mpumelelo mdala kunoLwandle. So it's easier to get Lwandle to do all of those things because he doesn't talk much and he's not going to say no to doing something. And so it looked like she is also, the same way that she is saying Lwandle is protective of her, she is protective of Lwandle, because she knows Lwandle struggles, you guys, with saying no. Also, you guys, we did see Lwandle at some point trying to teach Usne how to drive. And I guess, you guys, if you were paying attention to that scene, it does sort of give you an idea of how his relationship is like with Usne. And that's why maybe now they are having that, struggle in their relationship. And we are going to watch that in season 2 of Izingane Zesthembu, because the driving lesson didn't go so well. I remember even when they started with that lesson, I was like, there is no way Lwandle is going to be able, because Lwandle does, when you teach somebody to drive, you have to be patient and you have to tell them every single thing that they have to do while driving. And I was like, number one, they have a sibling relationship, which complicates things. And for some reason, sometimes you just don't like your siblings, And then two, just the fact that Usne, okay, they have a sibling relationship, and then Lwandle doesn't talk much. There was going to be a struggle, but also Usne, I think most of the family members get easily irritated with her. Okay, I think when you have a sibling that is always like, your parents are always not happy about what they're doing, a lot of the times it ends up being like attention is always on them because by a hlupa. And for the other siblings, it might seem like when all the time our parents need to be upset with you. So maybe that's the reason that the other siblings would look like they are also most of the time irritated with Usne. But I do feel like, you guys, it's a thing of maybe they don't respect each other, because nobody has showed them what Usne actually is your big sister. You need to respect her, okay? So you guys, listen, I feel like this season from the trailer, we will see more from that relationship, you guys. Lwandle, you guys, has always been a child that would say, when they are asked about, in the Nesthembu, he was always like, listen, I know my father is doing this very well, but it's not for me. They change from them not wanting Nesthembu to wanting Nesthembu, which was the same thing with Umpumelelo, came later on, when now they are saying they also want Nesthembu. But earlier on, the boys never wanted Ilokuzane Nesthembu, and they had expressed that. And Lwandle was also one of the people that have, expressed, good to know, this is for my father, but not for me. But now they're doing something different, you guys. So we see Lwandle on season 1 of Izingane Zesthembu talking to his mom when he is planning his 21st birthday. I think why 20K or something. And I'm like, yeah, here we are struggling to give our children 200 rand. Some kids are out here asking for 20K from their moms, and they do end up having this really nice party, you guys. But what happens in that party also gives you like a clear picture of how all of the other siblings Mseleku view Lwandle, and how they use the fact that he doesn't speak up for himself, and how they use the fact that he always wants peace, and how they use the fact that he would want to take care of them in selfish ways. Because what happens at the party is that it's raining, daga, especially on the way to a place where they are doing the event. So it ends up being that, they have to park their cars somewhere and then walk to the venue. But Mpumelo's girlfriends were there, and they did not want to walk like everybody else in the mud. Everybody was like, okay, let's leave the cars here and walk to the venue. But the girlfriends didn't want to walk. Now, instead of Mpumelelo going back, because the solution also was that they go and they get a bigger car so that they could drive in the mud, okay? Instead of Mpumelelo being the one that does that, because really that day it was Lwandle's 21st birthday, it was about him. Instead of Mpumelelo being the one to do that, he doesn't do it. They end up asking Lwandle to be the one to go fetch the car, the one that had a 21st birthday. And I was like, Lwandle needs to start standing up for himself a little bit more, you guys. So that's why I saw that even with Mpumelelo, I don't feel like he respects Lwandle that much. I feel like he takes advantage of the fact that Lwandle is soft-spoken and seems to just want peace between the siblings. So he ends up getting the car, driving his brother's girlfriend before he gets ready for his own party, which doesn't make sense, okay? Also, you guys, on this last season of the current season, actually, of Uthando Nesthembu, we did see Lwandle have that interaction with his father when he was being given the car. Both him and Mpumelelo were being given the cars, and the reaction Lwandle was the one that impressed most of us, okay, because he reacted in a very humble way. I remember thinking, listen, Macele obviously has done something right here when it comes to Lwandle. I was so impressed, you guys. And he's very different from Mpumelelo. It looked like at that time we were not seeing any arrogance that comes with kids that are raised in families that can afford. And he seemed very humble. He even asked to go and say thank you to Makumalo, which Mpumelelo hadn't done. And because I guess his car didn't come from Makumalo. But yes, you guys, I did like him in that sense. Then what also happened this last or this current episode of Uthando Nesthembu is that apparently Lwandle is gifted. It was revealed in this season that Lwandle is gifted. Mangethi gifted, I mean unamadlozi, which we were all shocked by. And now with Uphumelelo, they are going to be working together to heal the world and make it a better place. We even saw Lwandle laphayana ebhodla lapha endlini, and apparently ungenwe ikhehla elithile and ikhehla liyakhuluma, and we're like, oh, the fakery has started. But we won't say much. We're just watching when it comes to this, you guys. I did wonder, you guys, because I was like, how are you going to hlolela people when you really just struggle even to speak up for yourself? So for me, it was strange that it was coming up now that now he is gifted. Mseleku previously, you guys, because remember, Lwandle is the firstborn from the first wife in this family. However, he's not the firstborn in the family. The firstborn is Mpumelelo. I've always wondered, you guys, how are they going to do it when it comes to who is going to be in Ndlalifa? And Mseleku has tried, you guys, to sort of direct them in terms of what they're supposed to do as far as the family is concerned. And at some point, he had said that Mpumelelo was going to be responsible and help him with businesses because he feels like that's what he's good at. And then he had said that Lwandle was more going to be responsible for the homes, for the wives, for the kids, everybody, which I felt like, I don't know if Lwandle is going to be able to do that. And also, Umacele is not going to be impressed with that because Umacele has always said, listen, Lwandle does not have polygamy. Lwandle does not have 4 wives. Lwandle does not have to be worried about the 4 wives. These wives are yours. You are supposed to be the one that is responsible for that. I also didn't know, you guys, I didn't understand it, you guys, because previously Mseleku has spoken about Lwandle starting a business. Apparently he has a delivery business, and he had said that Lwandle is doing well in that. And I was like, then when it was time to say who's going to be responsible for what, Lwandle is not in business, but he's going to be taking care of the homes. And I was like, I don't know, you guys. And also I did wonder, guys, okay, so if Lwandle is going to be taking care of the homes and not, he doesn't need, because Mseleku was saying he doesn't need to worry about the businesses, then what happens to them? I said, Mpumele is going to go out and work on the businesses, make money and share it with his brother. Is that going to work? Maybe while Mseleku is alive, but I do wonder, you guys, what will happen should anything happen to him, God forbid, okay? Now, you guys, moving on to what is happening now. Of course, we are waiting to watch the first episode of Izingane Zesthembu and see more on what's happening with Lwandle. But outside of the show, we do have a story that is being reported that Lwandle has a girlfriend pregnant. And while that girlfriend is pregnant, he got another girlfriend, and he keeps posting that girlfriend. And you guys, he's not very kind and gentle to his very pregnant girlfriend. I don't know how true this story is, but it has been reported that way, to say that he's not very nice to his pregnant girlfriend, which has been so disappointing, because I thought, if anything, the woman that will get Lwandle as a partner would be the luckiest woman on earth. But it seems like she is the most unlucky woman on earth. What has happened with the boys, Mseleku, though, is that as they are growing older, they really just want to be like their father, and I think that's why they've moved now to wanting Nesthembu and wanting to live like their father, because, of course, their father is their hero and they look up to him. Now, you guys, with that being said, I have always wished for Lwandle to just find one woman that he will fall in love with, because I do feel like he doesn't have a personality that can hang Izingane, you guys. From what we've seen, we might not have seen everything, but from what we've seen, it feels to me like he does not, or it looks to me like he does not have that personality. But now, you guys, he says he wants Izingane, and I guess in a few years, naye uzobe eGhana. Just like Mpumelelo is saying now, he will be going to pay ilobolo for his virgin wife. So listen, you guys, I am looking forward to Lwandle this season of Izingane Zesthembu. I want to see more from him, and I want to see more of his life away from the other siblings. I was hoping that we were going to maybe be introduced to one or a few of his girlfriends, but maybe he's not sure about those relationships for him to introduce them to the show. But it would have been nice to actually see that, and also for us to see how he interacts with them, you guys. Of course, they're going to have that explosive argument between him and Abo and Usne, and we will see how that goes, you guys. But we are looking forward to Izingane Zesthembu episode 1 tonight, and you guys do watch so that we can come back over here and talk about it. But that is what we've seen from Lwandle so far. What do you think we will see in the season of Izingane Zesthembu from Lwandle? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to like it before Pumegiona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Uthando.